Like it makes me angry about what's happening.
It's BS.
Initial sort of visceral feelings are disgust that this is a travesty, that just it angers me.
As a black man first, the administration is not for us.
Control. What's happening here is not about stripping our rights away. It's about letting us know who's in control, who has the power, because they feel out of control. They feel like they're losing power. So they need to break us down again.
A lot of people in the world nowadays, especially allowing the fact that Medicaid is taking time out to support us as trans men and trans women. I think that they deserve a round of applause, because we wouldn't be ourselves without them.
To see the derailment of so many decades of work, to feel that these attacks are an attempt to move us backwards and to cause a lot of confusion. It's very unfortunate.
LGBT folks, us, we are over-indexed with certain issues. We face higher burdens when it comes to finding employment, when it comes to housing, when it comes to healthcare. So you think about the three expenses that impact them the most. Healthcare. It's so important that we protect the Affordable Care Act and expand it.
The crazy part is that I know I'm a little late, but I'm actually just now trying to get my passport. I didn't really have the language to understand trans or what it was, because I always knew from a very early age that I felt like a girl on the inside. I remember telling like my friends, and I feel like a girl.
It's like how dare you try to tell somebody who they can be, who they are, if they belong, if they don't belong. How dare you call somebody names? How dare you try to how dare you try to tell somebody how to use their body, or that they can't have a procedure that helps them stand in their truth.
I think now what's going on in the world, with trying to subtract things from trans men and trans women, I think that's a very emotional moment for trans women, trans men.
To truly think about where we are politically, the current political climate, and to really think about the values that I work from. It required me to sort of do an introspective sort of look and really think about my approach to the work. Because if I'm truly working towards diversity, equity, and inclusion, then that means that I should be able to still somehow negotiate differences in worldview, even with people that I don't agree with, which would include the current administration.
Something that we're going through again, that my grandmother and grandfather and great-grandparents has went through, is just said that I have to fight again to make sure my child don't go through the same thing 20, 30, 40 years from now.
I take that anger and I look at some of the other people out here doing the work, and I think it gives me hope, I guess. Not necessarily from what's coming from the White House, but the work in which people are doing. And then it also helps me try to have a voice as well. Because I don't care what you look like, red, yellow, green, purple, blue. At the end of the day, as humans, as people, we should all be afforded the opportunity to be who we are.
You are who you are. There's no mistakes. When I see myself, I want you to understand that I see him, he, his.
If most of my identities are of the majority, then I may feel DEI work does not include me. When the reality is, what DEI work tries to do is make room for everyone to feel included.
What are we supposed to do? Build. So we start with the mind. We start with we reprogram ourselves.
We should be able to hold each other accountable within our community.
United Front is being 12.6% of the population to 13% of the population, and we're spending $1 trillion a year on miscellaneous things and not putting that into our own.
I had to now no longer use Medicaid. I pay out of pocket.
Things are systematic, but we can't keep blaming the system when we should be creating our own system.
And the key is to look to see where there's something that I can affirm. That's something that I actually could affirm. That everyone does deserve dignity and respect.
But we have to unite again on what we need to build, how we need to go about it, and focus on that. They're going to do what they're going to do because they have the power to do it. But we have power too. We have power.
Or help others expand their understanding of the work so that everyone sees themselves in the work as a way for them to feel the dignity and respect that everyone should feel.
Are afraid of the increasing amounts of non-whites. This is going to be a majority, quote unquote, minority country by 2040, certainly by 2050, and they want to maintain white supremacy.
How did we get the resources in the beginning? Because remember, we didn't have laws that we had now when we started these programs.
That's the whole goal, to become more comfortable in who you are. But the goal is not to become comfortable in you are and then make other people uncomfortable with who they are. That's not the goal.
So you don't go from 1 to 10 and then something happens and you go back to 1. It's not possible because you learned all the lessons. You go from 11 to 20. So we still have the same goal, and we accomplished the goal, but we didn't master the goal. Now it's time for us to master the goal. So we go look at our plan, because don't change the goal, because a lot of people change the goal because they didn't see the fruits from the goal. You don't change the goal, you change the plan. We have to restructure our plan, just like the grassroots when we first started, because again, we didn't have laws for us back then. We put it in their face. We mobilized, we united, we signed petitions, we went to Congress, we went to the House of Representatives, we got into the White House. We did all of that.